But those with true knowledge would understand. These were false signs, red herrings designed to lead the unworthy astray. This art of deception reached its peak in complex sites where true grave signs were mixed with false ones, creating a labyrinth of symbols that only the most skilled could decipher. The secret was in the details, small variations in depth, alignment, or placement that revealed which signs were real and which were traps. In this way, the dead served not just as guardians, but as guides, testing the resolve, intelligence, and respect of those who sought the treasure. To pass these tests was to prove oneself worthy, not just of gold, but of the ancient knowledge that lay hidden with it. The path forward, wisdom, respect, and courage. As our journey through the relationship between grave and treasure signs comes to an end, one lesson stands above all: wisdom is more valuable than gold. The ancient world was a place where the dead guarded the living, where respect for burial sites was not just a matter of belief, but a matter of survival. To uncover the treasures buried beneath these signs requires more than maps and tools. It requires understanding, patience, and a deep respect for the past. For every false sign is a test, every grave marker a choice, between greed and wisdom, between desecration and discovery. So, fellow seekers of fortune, remember, the path to true treasure is not lined with gold, but with knowledge. Read the signs. With care, honor the dead with respect, and move forward with the courage to uncover what lies beneath. The power of elevation. Understanding the triangular sign. Our journey begins with one of the most powerful symbols in the realm of ancient treasure hunting, the triangle. Unlike other carvings, the triangle is a symbol of direction, elevation, and protection, often pointing not just to where treasure lies, but to the heights that guard it. In ancient times, treasure keepers understood that the higher the ground, the safer the hoard. A triangle carved into stone was more than a marker. It was a map, a compass rose pointing to elevated terrain, a hill, a ridge, or a cliff. The upward angle was a warning and a promise that fortune lay not in the shadows, below, but above, on heights that would challenge the unworthy. But the triangle's meaning is layered. Its inner angles often indicate more than just elevation. They reveal the path itself. If the triangle's tip points to the west, then follow that direction. If it tilts upward, prepare for a steep climb. The ancients knew that those who sought riches must be willing to ascend, not just in height, but in wisdom. So when you stand before a triangular carving, take a moment to breathe. Look up, not down, and let the stone show you the way forward. The guardians of the path, small, circular carvings. But elevation alone is not enough. Every path has a door, and every treasure has a guardian. Enter the small, circular carvings, those seemingly insignificant marks that dot the rock surfaces beside the triangle. To the untrained eye, these circles might appear random, a mere flourish of the chisel. But to those who understand, they are the key to the entrance, the sentinels that guard the path to the hoard. Two small circles positioned near a triangle often mark the location of an entry point, a secret passage, or a hidden door buried beneath stone and soil. Imagine standing on a rugged hillside, the wind biting, the sun dipping low. Before you, a triangle carved into the rock points upward, and beside it, two small circles sit like eyes, watching. These circles tell you that the entrance is close, perhaps concealed behind a fallen stone, beneath the roots of an ancient tree, or in the shadow of a standing stone. But deciphering these signs requires more than sight. It demands touch and intuition. Run your fingers along the edges of the circles. Feel for hollows beneath the rock. The ancients hid their entrances well, but they left clues for those with the patience to search. Remember, the circles are not just markers, they are invitations. Those who can find the entrance are one step closer to the treasure. natural markers, trees, stones, and the language of the land. The ancients were masters of camouflage. They knew that the best way to hide a treasure was to weave it into the landscape itself, to make it a part of the world around it. This is why, beyond the carvings, nature itself becomes a part of the map. Ancient trees with roots that twist like fingers over rock, standing stones that seem out of place, or even a peculiar boulder too round to be natural. Each of these is a clue. In the language of treasure hunting, these are known as natural markers, signposts left by those who understood the land better than most understand their own minds. Consider the old oak tree standing alone on a hillside. Its roots may cover an entrance, or its shadow may fall upon a stone at a specific time of day, revealing the way forward. A standing stone, carved or uncarved, might point directly to the next marker. A large round boulder might conceal a vault with the triangular symbol indicating the path to circle around it. The trick is to think not as a hunter, but as a keeper, someone who would want to return to the treasure themselves. Why mark a path if it cannot be found again? Why use a symbol if it does not tell a story? In this way, every tree becomes a guide, every stone a signpost, and every shadow a map. The land itself becomes a key to a vault buried deep within. The earth, false trails, and the cost of mistakes. But be warned, the path to treasure is rarely straight, and more often than not, it is lined with false trails. Ancient keepers understood human nature. They knew that the greedy and the impatient would seize upon the first clue they saw, running headlong into traps and dead ends. This is why, for every true sign, there are false ones. Misleading markers, designed to send the unworthy into barren fields or dangerous ravines. A triangle might point to a cliff's edge, the circular carvings to a cave already plundered. The only way to outwit these deceptions is through patience and a willingness to step back and see the whole picture. Look for patterns. True signs often align, triangles pointing in the same direction, circles forming paths rather than clusters. False signs appear isolated, their paths leading nowhere. When in doubt, trust the land itself. Follow the natural markers, the ancient trees, the lone stones, and always remember, treasure is never found in haste. Those who rush are destined to find nothing but dust and shadows. The journey to higher ground. As our journey through these ancient signs comes to an end, one truth stands clear. The path to treasure lies not just in the symbols carved on rocks, but in the wisdom to read them. The triangle points upward, not just to higher ground, but to a higher understanding, a test of patience, intellect, and respect for the past. The small circles mark not just entrances, but decisions, choices to move forward or turn back, to dig deeper or walk away. And the natural markers, trees, stones, and shadows, are the guides left by those who understood that nature is the truest guardian of all. So, fellow seekers of fortune, keep your eyes on the heights, your mind on the path, and your spirit unburdened by haste. For those who move with wisdom will find more than gold. They will find the secrets of the ancients, hidden in plain sight. The deception of false signs, a deadly game. Our journey begins with a warning. Trust nothing at first sight. In the world of ancient treasures, deception is the first line of defense. False signs, those misleading carvings and arrows pointing towards cliffs and barren fields, were designed to guard the hoard from the greedy and the impatient. Imagine standing before a pair of circular carvings leading directly towards a steep cliff. The impatient treasure hunter might rush forward, only to find themselves on the edge of nothingness. The true seeker, however, pauses, questions, and looks for the second layer of clues. False signs are often simpler than true ones, placed hastily to mislead rather than to inform. The ancients understood that greed blinds the eye and clouds the mind. To outwit these traps, you must think like a keeper, not a hunter. Seek patterns, look for alignments, and never trust a path that leads into darkness or peril without a second clue. The first lesson then is simple. In the hunt for treasure, haste is your enemy. The ancients hid their wealth not only behind stone and soil, but behind deception itself, the square carving, a door to riches. Moving deeper into the heart of the mystery, we find the square carving, a symbol of structure, security, and hidden chambers. Unlike the deceptive false signs, the square carving is straightforward, a marker that suggests not just a path, but a place, a chamber hewn into rock, a room beneath the soil, or a vault sealed for centuries. The shape itself is no accident. The square's four sides represent balance and protection, walls to shield what lies within. Finding a square carving is like standing at a doorway, one that leads to buried secrets and untold wealth. But there's a catch. The square carving often marks not the entrance, but the chamber itself. The true door may lie elsewhere, hidden beneath roots or rocks, guarded by smaller symbols, circles, arrows, or even natural markers like trees or stones. The key is to look beyond the square. Search for secondary clues, marks in the soil, alignments of stones or subtle pathways through the underbrush. If the square points north, look to the south. If it rests alone, seek its opposite. In the world of hidden treasures, the square is a promise, but only for those wise enough to find the door, the step-counting method, measuring the path to wealth. And now we come to one of the most fascinating and practical strategies in the world of ancient treasures. The step-counting method. For centuries, those who hid their wealth used simple measurements, not compasses and charts, to ensure that only the worthy would find their hoard. The method is simple in theory, but profound in practice. Measure the path between two markers, a stone and a tree, a boulder and a carving, counting each step with precision. The distance becomes a map, a hidden guide to the next clue or the treasure itself. Imagine finding a square carving beside a twisted tree and a small circular mark on a stone a few paces away. Count the steps between them. If you reach 10, then turn east and count another 10. You might find a hidden passage, a buried chest, or a clue etched into stone. But this method demands discipline. The ancients knew that those who rushed would count wrong, that those who doubted would turn back too soon. A single misstep could lead to an empty field or a barren cave, far from the true path. So take each step with care, measure with patience, and remember, in the world of hidden treasures, precision is more valuable than gold. Small treasures. Signs along the way. But even the most careful path can seem endless without hope. This is why, along the journey to the true hoard, the ancients left something else, small treasures, tokens of gold and silver, hidden just beneath the soil. These were not the main prize, but signs, gifts left for those who followed the path. With diligence, a coin beneath a stone, a silver trinket by an ancient tree, a ring hidden in the hollow of a wall. Finding these was both a reward and a promise that greater riches lay ahead. Imagine the thrill of uncovering a small golden pendant, its edges worn, but its weight a testament to its value. Such a find would be proof that the path is true, that each step, each sign, is leading towards something far greater. But there's a danger here too, for false signs also hold false treasures, trinkets meant to lure the impatient into traps or to waste time and resolve. The true seeker must weigh each find, looking for patterns and signs that the path continues, that the prize lies further ahead. In the world of hidden hoards, even a single coin can speak, telling you to press on, to dig deeper, to keep faith. Conclusion. The path forward. Wisdom over greed. As our journey through these ancient strategies comes to an end, one truth stands clear. The hunt for treasure is not a test of greed, but of wisdom. False signs, square carvings, the step-counting method, and small treasures along the way. All are parts of a greater puzzle, one designed to outwit the foolish and reward the wise. In this world of hidden paths and secret chambers, patience is the rarest treasure of all. To follow the signs, to count each step with care, to discern the true path from the false, this is the way to wealth beyond measure. So, fellow seekers, let me leave you with this. Trust not your eyes alone, but your mind. Let the square carving guide you, the step-counting method measure your path, and the small treasures light your way. Move with wisdom, tread with care, and the hoard of the ancients will be yours.